How you doing, guys? Welcome to another episode. And in this episode I'm gonna show you how to replace the rear motor mount. This is a 2000 Honda Accord 4-cylinder with an automatic transmission. So there is some stuff that you have to remove in order for you to get to the rear motor mount. In this case, I'm gonna remove the intake tube and I'm gonna remove the throttle body. The best way to do it is to remove the whole intakes, but you have to disconnect fuel lines, you have to disconnect everything in here, and you have to have new gasket, and you disconnect the intake and you remove everything, so you got access to the motor mount that is right there on the bottom. But in this case, the best option for you is to remove the whole intake. It's a lot of work. You need to have the gasket, and you need to have the gasket for the thermostat housing, which I don't have, and I don't plan to remove everything. I'm gonna try to do it the best way for me, and for me I think the best way is just remove the throttle body. So I just gotta remove the tube for the intake, a couple bolts, 2 bolts in here, 2 bolts on the bottom, couple hoses, and some connections on the sensors, and cables for the gas, and then remove the throttle body so I have enough access to get to the bolts for the motor mount. So that's my option, removing the throttle body. Best way to do it is remove the whole intake, which I'm not gonna do because it's a lot of work. And the third option, it will be going from underneath, but underneath is really tight. I don't know if my hand is gonna fit in there. And to remove those 4 bolts, if you can see here in the new motor mount, it has 1 bolt in here, 1 in here, 1 right there, and 1 on the back, and this big one. Okay guys, I already removed my intake tube. Next thing, I removed this sensor right here, this connection. I have 1 on the back, this blue one for the air control valve. Now I have 4 bolts. This is a 12mm bolt for the throttle body. One on the top, there is 1 on the bottom. One on the other side. One on the bottom on the other side. To remove the throttle body cables, you have 2 10mm right here. Okay, and to remove the throttle body cables, you have to loosen it up and remove those 2 bolts first, then just pull it out the cable. That's 1. That's the other one. Now you have a couple holes from here on top. That's 1. 2. Now remove those 4 bolts, and then you have 1 clamp right here on the bottom, and that one has antifreeze, so just be careful with that one. And you have another one on this side right here. Okay guys, if you can see, I removed all the bolts on the throttle body. Holes on the bottom on that side is being removed, but the throttle body is really there, it's stuck, so I can't remove it, and I don't want to damage anything because you can see this is a 17-year-old gasket. It's really there. I don't want to try to pull it out and break something, so best way to do it now, remove the whole intake plenum, and I'm almost halfway, so I only had to remove 3 bolts in here, 2 bolts on the back, and remove my intake plenum. So you haven't checked my video on how to remove it from my EGR Passage. When I clean my EGR Passage on that video, I'm gonna put the link on the description how to remove it and how to get to the EGR Passage and clean the EGR valve right here. Check out that video. Quick little tip, guys, for you to remove these two bolts. Those two right here are 10 millimeters, and if you have a 3/8 ratchet, it's not gonna fit there. So best way to do for me, and it was easier to get the small one, the small ratchet with the 10 millimeter, and this is way easier because you can fit them right here with no problems. And I'll remove this hose right here. Everything else is disconnected. Just gotta remove this hose from the brake booster, and my 12 millimeters is gonna be one right here, here, two more on the back, and those two 10 millimeter right here from the ground, and this little bracket that is on the side. I removed those, and this sensor right here is disconnected. So I only had to remove the idle control valve connector on the back, couple hoses on the back, and remove my intake plenum. I remove all my bolts, so intake plenum is almost out of the way. And one thing that I really want to see, since I install my oil catch can, let's see how clean it is inside. That's gonna be one of my benefits too, because I have oil catch can on this car. Okay guys, if you can see, I removed the intake plenum. Oil catch can is attached to it, PCB valve. I think the oil catch can is doing her job. It's a little dirty in there, but if you can see here, this is the passage for the EGR, and if you can see there, it starts building up some carbon right there. See that? So it's not clogged, it's building up some carbon deposit right there, but that's pretty normal. So if you see there, so good thing that we remove it. Intake it's okay, it's in good condition, it's not dirty. Cleaned it like about 5-6 months ago when I did that video. So this is how it looks like, just in case that you wanna clean your EGR passage. Clean right here, and on the vehicle right there, that's the EGR passage. So you can see mine. First time that I cleaned it was clogged. This time you can see it's clean. I didn't disconnect the idle air control valve because you have to disconnect actually that hose right here on the right side, and to remove everything with the intake. But because I replaced that not too long ago, it was easy to remove. So that's another video, that's another thing. But now you know, check out my video. Like I said before, I'm gonna put it in the description on how to clean the EGR passage. The code is P0401 in case you have that code. We have plenty of room now they remove the intake plenum. We have plenty of room for the bolts, for the motor mount, and the bolt on top. So we just gotta loosen those 4 bolts and the one on top, and jack up the engine right from the bottom. I'm gonna show you how, and get the motor mount out of the way and install the new one. Okay guys, to remove the bolt on the motor mount, this is the setup that I'm gonna use. I have 1/2 inch ratchet. I have an adapter to go from 1/2 inch to 3/8. This is a 3/8 extension, and then I have another adapter to go from 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I have a small 1/2 inch extension. I got a swivel right here attached to my 14mm socket to remove the 14mm bolts on the motor mount. This is gonna be the 4 on the bottom. Okay, the top one is gonna be 17. So this is my the way I'm doing it. If you have a big extension, use it, but these swivels they're gonna help you out a lot, because with these ones you're gonna get into that room is kind of tight. If you see down there, that's my ratchet my extensions, my swivel. Okay, that's my first bolt. Second one is back there. I have plenty of room, so I'm on the first bolt. It was kind of tight, but it was okay. It was not really bad to remove. Let's go to the second one. Okay, that one is loose too. Now I'm gonna go to the other ones on the other side. You see there, guys, my ratchet with the swivel. It's really easy to get to it. There you go. That's the third one. Now let's go to find the fourth one. If you can see, I set on the side my idle air control valve, and right there my ratchet is on the bolt right on the back. There you go. That one is loose already. Okay, so if you can see, by removing the intake plenum, you have plenty of access for all 4 bolts. Now we just have that one on top. That's a 17. Okay, guys, setup for the one on top, 17mm, small extension adapter, a small 3/8 extension, and adapter from 1/2 inch to 3/8. Next step that you gotta do, if you wanna remove the rear motor mount, you have to jack up the engine, right? Because the engine has to go high in order for you to clear that nut right there on top, so we can remove it. You have to lose the bolts on the motor mount, and I will remove the one that goes through the motor mount. And if you watch my video where I replace passenger and driver side motor mount, you will remember that I use this long socket. So I still have my extensions with adapters and my 17mm long socket. And this one, you need one of these if you want to remove those bolts. In this motor mount, you have one hose, air hose, connected to it. You're gonna see it here on the firewall. This one is connected to the motor mount. I jack up the engine. Engine is really high right now, and I use 2 jacks. I have one jack supporting the transmission with a piece of wood on that side. I have another jack on the oil pan with a piece of wood too. So basically I have 2 jacks. I cannot just grab one jack and jack it up from the middle because I'm gonna have to remove my downpipe, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I use 2 jacks, and this big jack in the middle is just in case. But engine is all the way up. If you can see there, it's pretty high. You have to be careful with this process. If you're not sure or you don't feel confident, I recommend you not to do it. It's not really difficult. One thing that I did, like I said before, these motor mount bolts, they're loose, all of them. Motor mount on the driver's side is loose too. So now we just gotta remove the motor mount. Okay, you can see there. Pull it out. Okay guys, after you remove the motor mount, if you try to pull it out from the bottom, it won't fit. So if you wiggle the motor mount around the firewall and the bracket for the motor mount, which is right there, you can see there, right there is the bracket, you're gonna be able to pull it out. this rear motor mount is computer controlled to reduce idle speed vibrations from the engine. So in case that you have an automatic car like mine, you have to check one thing before you replace this motor mount. On the firewall, this is the connection for the rear motor mount. To check it, you just have to unplug this, and inside just check for battery voltage, the black and yellow cable. Inside it has two chambers, and those two chambers are filled with liquid. If you have vibration coming from your engine, what this motor mount does is just change the flow of the liquid between the two chambers, so like that it cancels vibration at idle speed. Okay guys, and to put the motor mount, I just gotta do the reverse of what I did. If you see guys, I have a lot of scratches on my firewall. That's because it's not easy to put it back on. You have to find the right angle to put it right here. So after like 10 minutes of fighting with it, finally I get the motor mount down. Okay guys, everything is in place now, motor mount and everything. Torque it down to 28 foot-pounds. Those 4 bolts from the motor mount to the chassis. I know that using a torque wrench with extensions is not ideal, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to put my torque wrench underneath, so I'm gonna do it from here, from top, and get everything torqued down to 28 foot-pounds. Check out my video where I replace the passenger and driver side mount for the torque specs. But before you start torquing everything down, make sure that you don't have the jacks on the engine. The engine has to be sitting on the mount, and when you have everything sit on the mount without jacks on the bottom, then you can start torquing down all the mount. I also have one video for the front mount. Check that one too. I'm gonna put the link on the description for those 2 videos, and then I just gotta do the other 2 bolts and the one on top. The nut on top of the motor mount, that one torque it down to 40 foot-pounds. And after you put everything together, if you can see here, this little bulb, put some antifreeze, because you're gonna lose some antifreeze when you remove your plenum. Put antifreeze and open this one up, so take all the air out of your system. And overall, that's how you replace rear motor mount. And on the manual transmission, of course, you have to remove the bracket. On these automatic ones, you don't have to remove the bracket. So that's the only difference between the manual and the automatic. So I hope you like this video guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.